Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. You can achieve in what you believe.
Hello and welcome to today's video from mobileclutchrepair.com. Today we are doing a clutch replacement on a Ford C-Max. Here we start off with our mechanic Paul jacking up the vehicle and placing it on axle stands. Just before we begin this video, we just want to thank everybody who has likes and subscribed to the channel. And if you have not already hit those magic buttons, if you would like to actively support the channel, you can become a member. Check out the link in the description below. All channel supporters get access to exclusive members' content and perks, but we will be keeping all our videos free to watch for everyone. Now back to the task at hand. Now the vehicle is jacked up. The next step is creating a safe working environment to carry out the clutch replacement. In all our pre-booked jobs, we state the vehicle must be off-road and on a solid flat surface, as our mechanic has the right to cancel the job at any point if he thinks it would be unsafe to work. It's just not worth it. So the next step is to secure the vehicle with axle stands either side, adding up to 6-ton carry capacity, and securing the rear wheels with wheel chocks so the vehicle doesn't move while jacked up. Now the vehicle is as safe to work on as we can make it mobile-wise. The next step is adding a work surface on the floor, allowing us to work uninhibited. This protects knees and elbows, scuffs and scrapes on rough surfaces, and gives some protection from any oil and dirt contamination staining the floor. All set to begin. First thing on the list is 19mm impact socket. Most Fords use a 19mm socket, but are notorious for stud bolt swelling, causing them to vary between 21mm and 18mm. As we begin to remove the near side wheel, we notice there is side-to-side movement in the wheel. We later find out that the wishbone bush is totally worn out, along with the left side engine mount. The customer was advised and quote given for the additional work. It's good working practice to check out various parts that are being worked on prior to commence any work, to avoid any confusion after work has been completed. In all instances, the mechanic checks the way the vehicle starts and takes photographs of any engine management lights before work commences. Same with any oily patches underneath the vehicle. Next up, after removing the plastic gear selector cover and moving the gear selectors out of the way, we have access to the 19mm drain plug. On this particular model, it is a very awkward drain plug, causing multiple offshoots of oil. But we have plenty of blue roll on hand, so let's get ready. We do not advise people to use impact guns on any nuts and bolts on the gearbox. Our mechanic does this daily and years of experience to speed up the job, and also using the gun on the right power setting every time. Remember, you're only one broken bolt away from a 3-hour ordeal. Next up is the bottom ball joints. We use WD-40 first and then 21mm impact socket in conjunction with ball joint splitter and hammer. Once you have removed the ball joints out of the wishbone both sides, next we remove the drive shafts from the gearbox. On this particular vehicle, we can just remove them from the inner side without removing them, totally saving time again on the clutch replacement job. After pulling the shaft out the box, it's possible to swing the near side shaft around to the other side. Then we can secure it using a bungee strap, so it's out of the way. When doing this yourself, please be mindful of any brake lines and ABS ESP sensor wires. If you break any of these, it's another trip to the local parts store and extra money. Now strapped out of the way, we can move on to the other side. The other side is slightly different. The shaft is longer and there are two 13mm bolts that need to be removed, but we can still pull this shaft out and secure it out of our way the same way we did with the other side. Using our angle tool and the 13mm impact socket, we can quickly remove the drive shaft brace and get the shaft removed from the gearbox. Using the hammer and ball joint splitter, we simply hit the shaft out of the box. Once it's out, we can move along to the next step. Now the shaft's out. We remove all the bottom bell housing bolts. On this vehicle, they are all the same size. 13mm, the top two bolts are normally the hardest and can seize into the gearbox. Quite a common thing to happen on this particular vehicle. Next, we remove the rest of the bolts and the bottom gearbox mount. Make sure to keep the bolts in order if you are unsure of where they go, as 2 bolts are a different length. Now time for the bottom gearbox mount to come off. 3 13mm bolts gearbox side and 1 15mm subframe bolt. We spray this with WD-40 first, as these are common for seizing up. Once the bottom mount is out, secure the offside drive shaft out of the way. Next, we move to the top side of the job. Remove the 2 sensors located in the airbox and servo sensor. Once sensors are removed, remove the intake pipe from the airbox, and don't forget to unplug it from the crankcase pressure side, also being mindful not to break any wires. Are removed. Remove the intake pipe from the airbox, and don't forget to unplug it from the crankcase pressure side, also being mindful not to break any wires. Once the airbox is out of the way, you remove the clutch line from the slave cylinder. Next is the 3 15mm engine mount bolts. Remember to brace the engine with a jack first before removing the 3 15mm bolts. You are then left with the top bell housing bolts. Once they are removed, it's time to get the gearbox out.
seagull was saved, and that's a nice story. And then someone just said, as you were talking about that, the seagull was flown to my windscreen. Well, go back to where we started. I guess it is the circle of life. Nicki Minaj, Woman Like Me, 9:40 is the time, and hello there, you're listening to the Radio 1 Breakfast Show. This is Greg James, Ricky Melvin, Charlie with you from 10:30 this morning. We're 10 minutes away from cowboy time. Who will we call today? Might not call anyone. I will. Can't resist. Very exciting news on the show this week. We're going to have one of my favourite funny people in the world, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, is going to be back on the Breakfast Show. It's been a few years now. I think it was probably pre-pandemic, I think. It was just about the time when she was signed on to the Bond film, so it was a good couple of years ago. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, most famously, you'll know her as Fleabag from the hit comedy Fleabag. She'll be taking part in Unpopular Opinion on the show on Friday, and I'm very, very much looking forward to it. She's in the new Indiana Jones film, so we'll chat all about that. And she's just great. One of the greats is Phoebe Waller-Bridge. Those of you who have seen Fleabag, there was that amazing time at the Golden Globes where she won a Golden Globe and went up there and thanked one person in particular.
Personally, I'd like to also thank Obama for putting us on his list. As some of you may know, he's always been on mine. And if you don't get that joke, please watch season 1 of Fleabag really, really quickly.
Yeah, very, very, very famous scene from Fleabag where, if you know, you know. So Phoebe's going to be on doing Unpopular Opinion, and I'd love to get you involved.
We are here today to hear your very, very unpopular opinions. I think that binge watching is the devil. It's so Morris
I can't stand singing in films, especially with Mary Poppins.
How could you be mean to Mary Poppins?
Don't put a Gaga on the line. Supersize unpopular opinions sometimes. Ed Sheeran, Lizzo, Zendaya, Timothy Chalamet, Greta Thunberg was unpopular opinion not so long ago. Coldplay, and this week, Phoebe Waller-Bridge, very much more